What were you guys expecting when you first began the program, and how far was it from the reality?
Ooh.
You mean the film or the SKATEISTAN program?
Either.
Well, I mean, we can't speak much about the SKATEISTAN program because we're not part of it. The film, yeah, I mean, it's tough to say because we basically did a reconnaissance trip to see, you know, what we would find. I mean, I actually went there first by myself to see if it is safe to bring a crew over and where would we stay and how would we go around. And so, you know, I didn't even have a clear concept of would we have to go into a hotel and do we need fixers and do we need guards and can we recruit some of our crew locally? Could we, because we were thinking about possibly finding a sound guy there or whatever, which we should have. But you know, so it's there wasn't a clear concept of how we would execute it. You know, we basically went there, assessed things, and then came back and started to make a plan on how to best approach it. So the whole thing evolved more than, you know, being strictly scheduled and taken. And also, you know, we had to shoot much longer because we wanted to follow the construction of this hall, you know, which is a nice project in itself that rounds, you know, that's the bookend of the film, so to speak. You know, that they realize they have to build a hall and then actually accomplishing that feat.
I was just going to say the difference between a documentary and a fiction film is that a documentary is a process of discovery for the filmmakers also. They don't know what's going to happen. There isn't a script that they're working from. And I think we shot something like 180 hours of material, 200 hours of material.
300 close.
300 hours of material to cut down to a 90-minute film, which is why it took a year or a little bit more than a year to edit the film and post-produce it. I mean, trying to take what actually happened and figure out the story to tell from that is also an exploration of the film. It's the filmmaker's journey to try to make sense of everything that they've experienced, to communicate that feeling with the images and sounds.
Which is sometimes harder when you've been there. So,
Yeah.
so it's just like you're part of it, and then it becomes harder to figure out, okay, I can't tell everything. What am I going to, how am I going to shorten what I want to say in 90 minutes?
I think, you know, filmmaking a lot is about communicating. It's not just pictures and sounds, but communicating feeling, and which groups of images and sounds put together will create the kind of feeling that'll tell the story moment that you want to tell to finish the film. You know, for those who were there, the things that happened didn't necessarily happen in the order that you see it in the film, but the film is its own reality. The film becomes its own reality of the story. And really, what actually happened in the order way it happened is not really relevant because the film lives on its own.
So you say it was different?
No, I'm just saying it's a new reality. It's a new reality and it's a story.
And when you watch it, it's a different reality too.
It is, but the film is consistent with it's certainly consistent with the reality that was experienced, but it becomes its own reality.
Correct.